All righty, my friends and gems, welcome to our broadcast today. And we're going to talk about these photobiomodulation patches and how to increase your brain memory, focus, and processing speed naturally through the use of photobiomodulation and these little activation patches that can do that and so much more. All right, I see my beautiful friend and gem, Carol, who is here on our broadcast. Let me see if I can share my screen here. I wanted to share this brain health and wellness seminar because we are in the midst of a 4-part series. We've already done part 1 and part 2. There's been a wealth of information that you can glean from listening to the beautiful and the brilliant Dr. Stacy Hollweger, who is a double PhD. She's a functional medicine as well as an integrative medicine PhD. And then we also have Dr. Don Van Verhulst, who has 40 years of medical experience, and he started off as an MD, allopathic, traditional centralized medicine doctor, and he is an alternative medicine, regenerative medicine doctor, has an incredible amount of wealth of information that he can shed light on, and no pun intended, and bring a greater awareness to you. So you can check that out. You can go to drstacyzoom.com. Again, that's Dr. Stacy Zoom. That's a URL that's pointed to her Zoom link. There's only 500 people, I believe, that that there's room for. So the first 500 get on. Tuesday, November. It'll be next Tuesday. So we just had the last two Tuesdays. So next Tuesday and the Tuesday after that, you could check that out. And so let's stop the screen share with that. And now let me share with you my presentation that will talk about how to activate this result in your brain through the use of these photobiomodulation patches, which are a wearable light technology. Come on, we need this to open. Oh, there it's opening. Okay. Okay, so let's get started. I'm sharing my screen with you, and I see that it finally turned green. You are screen sharing. Fantastic. Put my controls here at the top. So thank you for your time and your attention. Let's get started with the pluripotent cell activation patches. And we are going to talk about, of course, the Fantastic Five. And we're going to start off with our mother stem cell activation patch. That would be the X39, and we will have this information question and answer session. Any questions that you have, we'll be sure to respond with answers according to whatever it is that you might have, whatever symptoms. We will start off also by saying that we've got a disclaimer that these patches are not intended to treat, prevent, or cure any disease, because we do not heal, cure, treat, or diagnose, nor do we offer any protocols. So the suggestions do not replace the diagnosis and treatment by a qualified licensed healthcare professional. We strongly recommend you consult with your doctor concerning your specific health challenge and treatment needed. There are no medical claims that are being made with the suggestions here. This is intended for human use only. That's not to say that people haven't put these patches on their animals, their cats, their dogs, their horses, all sorts of mammals, and we've had and witnessed incredible results from that. However, they are intended for human use. Also, it's good to note that the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, whom we have a great relationship with, has taken the position that all claims surrounding stem cells and healing, even those from natural products, will be regarded as drug claims. So the FDA also asserts that claiming that the use of light to elevate peptides such as GHKCU is inappropriate for a general wellness product. So even though we have 90 clinical studies that were done in the United States, in Europe, as well as in Asia, that actually showed that every one of our patches effectively turned on And through the use of light, which is photobiomodulation, it actually elevated the peptides such as GHKCU copper peptide and actually effectively turned on a third of the previously dormant stem cells. It's inappropriate for a general wellness product, so they're no longer allowing us to say that. So I need to put that disclaimer up front so that you know what I can and cannot say. I hope that makes a lot of sense to you. We just want to follow the rules. And it's good to note also that our facilities where we create these are FDA registered facilities, because this is an FDA Class 1 medical device under the general wellness category. Okay, so this work and these patches are all based on the research study and the Nobel Prize work in 1973. In 1973, conducted by Lauren Picard, who actually discovered that GHKCU copper peptide activated a third of previously dormant stem cells, turning genes to a younger, healthier state. That's not just anti-aging, it's better than that. It's reverse aging at its best. So the question now is, what are stem cells? Well, stem cells are pluripotent cells. So what does pluripotent mean? Pluri is plural, as you can see here. Pluripotent equals plural plus potential, which means that it has many potentials. So those pluripotent cells can turn into a cardiac cell, an enterocyte, which is a type of digestive, stomach cell, or also from your large and your small intestine. Your fat cell, it can turn into a blood cell. It can turn into an epithelial, which is a skin cell. It can turn into a nerve, a neuron. It can turn to any kind of cell that your body needs in real time. And the thing to know is that at conception, when your mother's ovum united with your father's sperm, at conception, you now have 23,688 genes and cells, pluripotent cells that are available to form you in your mother's womb and have you grow into a fetus. Fast forward 36 to 40 weeks later, that fetus grows into a fetus. A little bit further, now you have a fully formed, brand new born baby. And when you move, fast forward through the motion picture screen of your mind and get to your age of 30, you will notice that by the age of 30, 50% of your stem cells turn off for no other reason other than aging. It's the natural progression of aging. And if you continue to fast forward that videotape for the motion picture screen of your mind, of your life, you get to 60 years of age, 90% of your original stem cells turn off. So you only have 10% from 60 years of age moving forward. And it's good to think about your human body. It's really like a temporary housing unit. So it's basically your body is equal to your home. Your body is the meat suit, if you will, the temporary housing unit that houses the energy, the personality, the being that is you. And if you look at inside your body, you've got pluripotent cells, which are like printer ink cartridges. So when you look at, because we don't think about stem cells on a daily basis, unless you're someone like me where we work with this on a daily basis, right? So those pluripotent cells are like printer ink cartridges. And when you put a brand new ink cartridge, whether it's color or black, into a printer, you got 100% of the ink. And because you have 100% of the ink, now you go to make a copy, and the copy is indistinguishable from the original. However, once you have used up 50%, better yet, once you've used up 70, 80, 90% of that ink, now the copy is a faded version of the original. And now the copies that are made aren't as crisp and clean as they once used to be when you had a greater number of stem cells. And so the question now becomes, how do the patches work? Well, that's a fantastic question. Thing to know is that this is photobiomodulation. So photobiomodulation is photo is light, bio is biological, because we're biological bodies, right? We're not man-made, we're biological. Modulation means movement or change. And so this is a wearable light technology. These patches work through using your own body's infrared light inside your body. In fact, if you were to take your temperature, you would see that your body is, well, mine right now is probably 98.6 or maybe even a little cooler because it's pretty cold here, relatively speaking, for California. It's been raining on and off most of this afternoon and this evening. And so it's kind of chilly. It's in the 50s right now, which for us is pretty cold. Okay. So the inside light that you have inside your body, that heat, that temperature that we can measure through a thermometer, is infrared light. That infrared light is because you have electrons inside your body, inside the cells. You have, and inside your bloodstream, you have electrolytes. Those are packets of information filled with nutrients and with oxygen and everything that your body needs in order to function appropriately. And when we put a mother stem cell activation patch like this is a pluripotent cell activation patch. As soon as we put this on your skin, boom, the lights turn on. And now 33% of your previously dormant stem cells are awake. They are on like little flash floodlights. The switch has been turned on, and your infrared light skin temperature bounces off of this crystal lattice, because this patch is made of a crystal lattice of organic sugar crystals, organic salt crystals, organic hydrogen, oxygen, water crystals, as well as a proprietary blend of organic amino acids. And those crystals that have polyisomers, they're arranged in a very specific geometrical pattern, and they're set to a specific frequency to give the effect that this patch will give off, and I will tell you what it is that this one does. And each one of the patches has a different effect and result. So we're going to start off with the mother. What of the 11 patches that we have, I classify 5 of them as the Fantastic 5. Okay. And so let's more specifically, how does that work? If you look at a diamond crystal, and if I were to take a flashlight and I were to shine it on a diamond crystal, you would clearly see all the different colors of the rainbow. In fact, you look at this presentation right here, you will see that as we shine the light on a diamond, that the light reflects back. It bounces off of the crystal onto your eyes, and then you witness all the different colors that are coming from the different prisms, right, within that diamond. Same thing is true with these stem cell activation patches, because those little crystals are just mechanical devices arranged to reflect back your infrared light to create the effect. In the case of this particular patch, it activates GHKCU, copper peptide. And separate from the studies that we've done, which are 90 in number, if you look at PubMed or the National Library of Health, or you look at Google Scholar, you'll see thousands and thousands of studies that talk about GHKCU copper peptide and all the benefits that you get from GHKCU copper peptide and the activation of a third of your previously dormant stem cells. It's about 4,192. For any of you who are neuro nerds that want to geek out in the specific numbers, that's the number. There's out of 23,688, which is what was present at birth, or not at birth, correction, it was present at conception. Fast forward to when you activate a third of your previously dormant stem cells, that's 4,192 genes. That's a third of your original batch that you had, which is just a little shy of 24,000. Does that make sense? All righty, so moving on here. So the thing is to know that while phototherapy has been defined as the use of ultraviolet light for its healing effects, these LifeWave patches have been specifically developed to reflect light in the infrared and visible light bands back onto the skin where the patch has been placed. As I'm sitting here tonight sharing this information with you, you'll see that I have one on my left wrist, and then I have one on my right wrist. And you'll also see that I have a patch here on the front of my chest here, right under K27, right? I also have 4 or 5 patches that go down my neck bump, okay? And this is supported by normal electrodermal skin conductance, and the human body gives off a number of materials biochemically, including particulate release, gas emission, ultraviolet, infrared, near infrared, and visible spectrum light. This then stimulates the area of the skin wherever it's applied, producing improved physiological effects. So variations on phototherapy have been used for at least 1,000, I'm sorry, not 1,000 years. You see, you don't have to be perfect to do this. I said 1,000, even though I read 100 years. So I stand corrected. So variations on phototherapy have been used for at least 100 years. So in that time, there has been very little evidence of negative side effects. And this suggests that this is a relatively untapped option for healing with relatively few risks. So I want you to notice that these are non-transdermal. Non-transdermal means that nothing transfers into the dermis, which is the skin. They're non-invasive. Nothing invades or crosses over the skin barrier. Again, those crystals are not absorbed by your body. They are simply a mechanical device to redirect your infrared light back into your body. So because they're non-invasive, they're allowed during surgery. They're allowed in alcohol and rehab clinics. They're allowed through any treatment, chemo, radiation, any type of medicine that you might take over the counter, under the counter, prescription, non-prescription. It doesn't interact negatively with anything because you're basically turning more of you on. That's the bottom line. And these are holistic FDA compliant class 1 medical devices under the general wellness category. We do manufacture our products in FDA registered facilities in the United States, and our facility in Ireland, in fact, is registered with the Irish Medicine Board, which is the highest authority for the European Union. And we manufacture our products to the same standards as a medical device. In fact, our facility in Ireland is ISO 9001 and ISO 13481. Another mistake. I meant to say ISO 13485. It's been a long day. So that's a quality standard, and that's per our scientist, David Schmidt. If anybody wants to check out the video where he talks in great detail about that, let me know. I'll be sure to share that video link with you. You can just put it in the comments below here on YouTube, as well as on Zoom. So it's important that you drink water because you're made up primarily of water. And to drink 50% your weight in fluid ounces of water. Now, not sure if this is a big deal. Trust me, it is a big deal. It's a very big deal because when you're a baby, you're about 82% water. When you're 60 years old, you're about 55% water. But if you look at your DNA is 92% water. Yes, 92% water. So it's the primary structure that holds up your DNA. When you're about 2% dehydrated, you will actually start to feel thirsty, like your mouth will get parched. When you get to 8% DNA, when you get to 8% dehydration, is what I meant to say, your DNA starts to unravel. If your DNA is starting to unravel, guess what? You're starting to have a lot of issues in your body. If you get to 10% dehydration, you actually lose your mind. And if you get to 12% dehydration, guess what? You don't last very long because your entire body shuts down and you're dead. So it's very important for you to keep hydrated so that your peptides and, more importantly, your proteins, when you're dehydrated, they fold and they don't work properly. They don't work properly, especially in something called the Krebs cycle inside of your body. But if you keep them open by keeping yourself well hydrated, then things start to flow and grow and do what they're supposed to appropriately, all right? Also, the thing to note is, are you aware that your DNA is an energy amplifier? Which makes total sense, especially since now you're aware, you realize and recognize that your DNA is 92% water, in fact. So, oh, by the way, you're wondering how long are you supposed to wear these patches? You're going to be wearing these patches for the next 12 months, every day, 12 hours on, and then 12 hours off. After 12 hours, let's say you put your patches on at 9:30 in the morning, 12 hours later, 9:30 p.m. at night, your phone goes off, reminding you, the alarm says, remove patches. You remove them, you can discard them. And now you're going to match those 12 hours with rest, repair, and restore. Now, your body is literally Bluetooth and in sync with the circadian rhythms of the earth. Just as the earth is diurnal, where you have daytime and you have nighttime, you have 12 hours of daylight from sunrise to sunset. And then from sunset to sunrise, you have 12 hours of rest, repair, and restore. So you want to honor your body and allow it the 12 hours to be signaled for 12 hours every day, boom, to do this rapid restoration, regeneration, and reparation that's going on at a cellular level. And then you're going to remove the patches and allow for the rest, repair, and restore cycle. So here we're going to talk about right bundle branch blockage. And this is Dr. John Harmon. And Dr. John came to us 2 years ago, and all of a sudden he was having these episodes where he wasn't feeling great, and he went to a cardiologist. He happens to be a brain specialist. And lo and behold, Dr. John discovered from not one, not two, but 3 separate cardiologists confirmed that he had a right bundle branch blockage, which did not feel good at all. Moreover, he was informed by all 3 of them that this was not operable and that he would have to be on heart meds for the remainder of his life, and that his lifespan would be shortened. And he was very dismayed, and he just knew that there had to be something out there on the planet that existed that could, in fact, repair this right bundle branch blockage. And lo and behold, guess what? The patches came into his experience. And he immediately began to start patching when he learned about this pluripotent stem cell activation patch using photobiomodulation, which is wearable light technology. So fast forward 14 months after he got started, and guess what? He was informed by all 3 of those cardiologists, something that they had never seen in their entire careers. They revealed to him and uncovered the fact that the right bundle branch blockage disappeared. It no longer was present in his heart. And on top of that, because our pluripotent cells repair any damaged cell inside, outside the body, top to bottom, front to back, guess what? He had the benefit of having his original hair color grow back. His skin got more youthful and more filled with collagen, so he lost his tic-tac-toe board here on his forehead. You see that his eyebrows also started to grow in thicker, and his original hair color for also his eyebrows came in. He also lost the inflammation that you see that surrounded his eyes before. He had quite a bit of inflammation. That inflammation is now gone. So he's basically younger looking. Look, even that line that's at his chin is gone. Much younger, much more youthful looking. He basically was rejuvenated. And oh, by the way, did you know that fibroblasts begin to decline at 25 years of age in their production of collagen? Collagen happens to be the #1 building block protein. And this patch actually will help your production of collagen. So let me share with you this. The first person that I patched who had long haulers COVID, this is Barry. And Barry had gotten COVID and then was plagued with long haulers COVID and had that tremendous burden of having to wake up every day with no stamina, no fatigue. He had headaches, he had nausea, he had terrible insomnia. And so when we started him on the patches on June 23rd, here you'll see June 24th, the next day, he received his patches late afternoon. So that evening we put the patches on him. He's in Toronto, Canada. And I told him, report back to me, let me know how your sleep is. The first night you should have deeper, sounder sleep. Very next day, I get a text message from him and he says, hey, Lillian, just a note. Don't know if it's a placebo or if the patches work that quick or what, but I had really good sleep. A little better sleep than other nights. I fell asleep quicker. Today, I'm just on a high. I am ecstatic, and Gwen sees that in me. And I feel really, really good physically when I awoke this morning. No headache, no nausea. Yeah, it's just been a phenomenal day. So thank you, and I'll update you as we go along. Hope all is well. Bye. You can only imagine how pleased as punch I was, and to know that my friend is now relieved from those things that were a great burden to him for 18 months. And now we have Kathy McCarthy, another gal that we started on the patches. And Kathy, she had fine lines and wrinkles, but her biggest problem was that she was suffering for 33 years from an autoimmune disorder caused by her breast. She had 3 breast implants and had a terrible concoction of symptoms that were really quite bothersome and painful. And in January, we told her to take pictures before you start on the patches and every 30 days after. And she did that. And then last October, a year ago, she posted this set of pictures, these 4. And in January, you see how she has a lot of wrinkles. March, not so much. June, wrinkles gone. You have a little hint of the lines. July, everything. There's no evidence of any wrinkles. And her husband was one of the first to notice that her torso and her arms no longer had that crepey skin. But the best thing was that in addition to having, looking better and being younger looking, because this is what she looks like, the beautiful report back that we got was that her autoimmune symptoms all disappeared. Again, we're not making any medical claims, but the symptoms that she had from the autoimmune disorder that she suffered with for 33 very long, arduous years no longer plague her. This is my testimonial, of course, and I was hit by a bus just 3 blocks shy of completing a 16-mile bike ride back in June 17th of 2017. One of the most miserable experiences and painful experiences of my entire existence, without a shadow of a doubt. Was hit from behind, had a bald spot the size of my palm, the lower left side. Your hypothalamus is back there, not a good thing. That is part of the center of where your short-term memory is controlled by your hypothalamus, and I got it whacked, and I had brain damage, quite literally, from this. So I suffered a traumatic brain injury, a neck injury, a lower back injury, and a laceration from my ankle to my knee. And I had an ugly, nasty looking scar that took over, that wound took over a year to close. It threw my whole biochemical process and my neurobiophysiology completely out of whack. I ended up with this laundry list of all these things that I had to overcome. And luckily, I started the patches June 22nd of 2022. And this is 14 months later. I got my hair, it grew back. It also, at the 4th month, it was softer, silkier, smoother. It was thicker. I also, in the first 3 weeks, noticed that my brain processing speed, my memory, and my focus went through the roof. It was so obvious because I was still making my way, reading through all 90 clinical studies. And as I read the clinical study for IceWave, which if you go look at my YouTube channel, you'll see that I do a reading of the clinical study, and then I language it into more layman's terms so that you can understand and ascribe a meaning to what it is that you're learning from that study. But I was just really impressed with the keywords as well as the abstract there. The bottom line is that I only read that study once, and I was able to quote it and remember the keywords. And prior to that, I would have had to have, I had already recovered a good deal of my short-term memory, but I still needed to write things down 3 or 4 times. I would have to highlight it. The paper copy I would have to highlight as well as the electronic copy. Plus, I would have to take extra measures to make sure that I'm literally taking it in so that I could memorize it and then basically download it and then recall it. I read this paper once, and it took no effort. I didn't have to memorize it or anything. The next Zoom call, I was able to quote the acupuncture, not the acupuncture. I was able to quote the keywords, which was organic, nanotechnology, using photobiomodulation, and acupuncture points, 4 keywords. And the other thing is I was able to talk about the abstract. I was able to quote it almost verbatim after just one reading. Took no effort whatsoever, which astonished me because that was a first. And the rest is history. So I won't go into these details here. You can see I have done a good number of YouTube interviews and podcast interviews. You can check that out later. So let's jump into what this pluripotent stem cell activation patch, what is it that it does? So this activates your cells by your own body's infrared light, which again is going to reset. We're no longer allowed. The FDA tells us we can't say that it resets 1/3 of your genes to a younger, healthier state. So we're not going to say that any longer, but we are going to let you know that it does regenerate cells, replacing damaged cells by the pluripotent cells. It restores your collagen, rebuilds your scar tissue, reduces fine lines and wrinkles. It increases your energy, your sexual libido, your antioxidants, your anti-aging, your anti-inflammation or anti-inflammatories. And many people will experience pain relief 3 to 4 minutes after putting the patch on, anywhere from 50% to 100% pain relief, which is pretty amazing if you think about it. A lot of people get improved hair growth like myself and deeper, sounder sleep. So improved sleep. Where do you put these patches on? And let me note that we have a Veritas Concilium, which is a true plan of action or a recommendation or regimen using traditional Chinese medicine acupuncture points to magnify the effects of these patches on your body. So the studies were all done using 2 acupuncture points. So one is governing vessel 14, which is up here on your neck bump. You just touch the back of your neck, about 5 finger widths below your hairline, the base of your neck, the top of your spine, you'll feel a bump. That is governing vessel 14. That's where your brainstem actually goes down into your spinal column, and it signals your autonomic nervous system to send the information out throughout your body. The second acupuncture point is 3 finger widths below your belly button, which would be conception vessel 6. That conception vessel 6 is responsible for all things related to conception, reproduction, and digestion. Okay? And the patches work anywhere on the body, front to back, top to bottom, on your hair, below your feet, works anywhere. My rule of thumb that I like to use with my patients is point to the pain and then patch it, because we want to light up that area first. If you're feeling pain or discomfort, we want to remedy and repair that first. Does that make sense? Okay, so next is the daughter stem cell activation patch, or the daughter pluripotent activation patch. So this cell activation patch provides radiation poisoning relief. This patch also increases your lean muscle mass, your bone density, muscle mass and strength, and increases energy, focus, and cardiovascular function. Protects you against DMF from 5G, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi radiation, laptops, desktops, cell phone, notebooks, iPads, not to mention the EMFs and the blue light toxicity that you get from LED lights, from those devices that I just mentioned, plus LED lights that you have in your home, fluorescent lights, halogen lights. We're bombarded with LED lights everywhere we go. Our kitchen is full of LED lights, our refrigerator, our cappuccino coffee maker, our hot water pot that's electric, our microwave, our oven, any other gizmo or device, your Ninja or your food processor, they all have LED lights. Your cars, all LED lights. Trains, planes, yachts, boats, all LED lights. None of them have incandescent bulbs. So this is going to offset that for you, and you're going to feel much better, because blue light toxicity causes insulin resistance. It causes inflammation inside of the body, and it causes the dysregulation of your cells at a subcellular level in something called a mitochondria, which is your organelle. It's a tiny organ, which is where energy is processed in the body. Creates something called ATP. Now, that bell will be unrung, and you will feel much better because your body's being restored to a younger, healthier state. So next, we're going to talk about pluripotent cell activation patches, the Y-age system. The next 3 patches, these are glutathione, carnosine, and eon. And so again, this is the Fantastic 5. You got the mother, the daughter, and then the Y-age master antioxidants. So remember to drink 50% your weight in fluid ounces of water. And let's talk about glutathione. Powerful, powerful master antioxidant. It detoxifies your body. That is whatever toxin that you've taken in, whether you ate it, slurped it, smelled it, absorbed it through your skin, doesn't matter. Whether you shot it in, if you absorbed it through whatever chemicals on your clothes or your food, and now it's being, absorbed through your gums straight into your head. The bottom line is that this is going to detoxify you. It's also going to boost your immune system, because within 24 hours of you wearing this patch, your glutathione levels will boost 300% to as high as 600%. Just wearing the mother patch, your glutathione levels jump 30%. However, with this glutathione patch, it will boost 300 to 600% based on whatever your original playbook was at conception. So it's more, wearing the patches is more of you being turned on. That's really what it is, because 30% 50%, in some cases, 90% of you has turned off and you only have 10% left. So now we're going to turn back on a third of your previously dormant stem cells. Because this is boosting your immune system, you're going to get increased antivirals. You'll have this radioprotector against DNA damage. It's going to improve your skin's appearance because glutathione is present in every muscle and every organ of the body, head to toe. Your brain signals your liver to produce it, and then your liver distributes glutathione through your blood to everywhere in the body, every organ, every muscle. And this also will help promote relaxation and reduce stress. So pay close attention to the organs that are mentioned in this glutathione study. And this is one of our 90 clinical studies. And it says here that the glutathione patches worn 12 hours daily over a period of just 4 weeks produced a highly significant improvement in physiologic functional status of the pancreas, the liver, the gallbladder, the intestines, your left and right adrenals, the hypothalamus, pituitary gland, and a very significant improvement in the pancreas with a statistical power of at least 72%. Stated differently, all organs achieve significant cellular physiologic functional status improvement compared to a baseline with a statistical power of 91%. That quote can be found in the nanoscale glutathione patches improved organ function. At the end of this, I will direct you towards our educational site where there's nothing that you can buy, but you can read that paper if you would like. You can just look it up because all 90 clinical studies are posted there. Next patch is the carnosine patch. Boy, don't we love a carnosine patch. If you think about the root word to carnosine, it's carne, and carne means, in Latin, it means flesh. So this master antioxidant supports and improves cardiovascular system and all things related to heart and muscle. It's going to improve healthy brain function, memory, focus, and brain processing time. It's going to also improve your strength, your stamina, and your endurance. It's going to detox that brain from aluminum. And I don't have to tell you that we all, up until 2014, we all brushed our teeth with toothpaste that was in an aluminum tube. We've all drunk juices, beers, wines, all sorts of beverages out of an aluminum can. We've all eaten apple pie. We've all wrapped a potato or a piece of turkey or corn on the cob or some sort of food, with aluminum. Now that food, as it's touching that aluminum, it's getting trace amounts of aluminum, which now you're going to eat. And so this is going to unring that bell for you. It's also going to help you with wound restoration. So remember to drink 50% your weight in fluid ounces of water. It's not that I'm having memory issues. I do put with intention 3 times in this presentation because it's important that you understand how significant it is to drink 50% your weight in fluid ounces of water. If you can't drink the water, then there's no sense in bothering with this because your pluripotent cells are going to create a brand new cell. And instead of it getting to where it needs to go, it's going to get stuck. It's like getting stuck in quicksand. And now it's just going to stick to a bunch of other cells and it's not going to get to where it's needed. So it's important that you drink 50% your weight in ounces of water so that you keep hydrated. So those proteins are not folded, but they're open and ready to do what they need to do. The last patch is the Eon patch. And this Eon patch is a master antioxidant. We call it our happy patch. Let me show you close up. Eon patch, blue and white. This envelope is called the sleeve. And this is a master anti-inflammatory patch. It's our anti-stress happy patch. It raises anti-neoplastins, which I'll explain what those are in just a couple minutes. And it increases the DHEA fountain of youth hormone. It creates brain balancing of the left and the right brain. You'll see here an image of a brain. And it's going to balance your left and your right brain so that you go into homeostasis, which creates a calming effect because it's going to reduce your cortisol levels and your C-reactive protein. And once it does that, you will feel happy, you'll be energized, but you're going to be calm. Phenomenal patch. I cannot say enough about this patch. So what are anti-neoplastins? So glad that you asked. So these are peptides that are found in the urine and blood of healthy, normal people, and they might stimulate the immune system. And the research studies show that these peptides might also kill certain cancer cells or prevent them from proliferating and growing. So in a clinical setting, they're used for various cancers, high cholesterol, brain swelling due to any kind of infection, anything from encephalitis, meningitis, HIV, AIDS, Parkinson's disease, you name it, and any other kind of condition that might come from that. In a clinical setting, that is called IVIG. That's intravenous immunoglobulin therapy. So did you know, by the way, that blue light destroys DHEA, the fountain of youth hormone? That's right. Just looking at your computer screen, your cell phone, that blue light destroys the fountain of youth hormone. It also creates a dopamine hit. There's a cascade of all sorts of things that happen in your brain, but we're going to keep this to the bare minimum, very simple. This also causes inflammation in the body and insulin resistance, which is, again, causing this mitochondrial dysregulation, which is the beginning of really all inflammatory conditions in the body. So we're here at the end of this broadcast, just about, and I'm sure some of you are probably wondering how much this costs. And for those of you who have had traumatic brain injuries, you've had multiple concussions, you've had issues with the brain, I cannot begin to tell you. I know I had brain damage myself, knock on wood. I'm on the other side where I was able to reverse that. And of course, I would have paid $1 million to get my faculties, to get rid of all that pain, everything that came along with it. Because when you have a traumatic brain injury, everything gets out of whack. And it's like a domino effect where things just keep getting worse and worse and worse. And things don't work right. And you lose weight that you don't have to lose. And if you're more predisposed to gaining weight, you gain weight that it doesn't make sense because you're not eating anymore. And so it's just kind of a mess. And we obviously can't charge you $1 million to repair and restore your body, but you know that traditional stem cell therapy, that's whether by injection or IV, run anywhere from like 8 to 11 grand per session, sometimes even more, plus the cost of travel and lodging because it's not allowed in the States any longer. But we can put you on a Dr. Wholesale pack, and for the cost of a cup of coffee a day, you can get the mother stem cell, the mother activation patch. And in fact, so each patch is $5 a day. And so one 30-day supply would be $149. If you do both of these, that's $300. We could bundle price them and it's $279. So it's basically $10 to $11 a day. If you want to do the Fantastic 5 and you're willing to order 3 months in advance, you can bring the price down by about 50%. And now each patch is only about $2.50, $2.80, which is a phenomenal price. So let me share with you real quickly here our Dr. Wholesale form. You see here the gold pack, that would be for the Fantastic 5. And instead of paying $149 each sleeve, you would then be paying $499. So that's $100 each. And if you're willing to buy 3 of these in advance, 3 months in advance, 4 times 500 is 1,500. So that would be the diamond pack. However, you would receive 2 additional months of the Fantastic 5. Or for those people who would prefer to just do just the 39 and 49, you can do that. You'll get 12 months of the 39, 7 months of 49. And then you could add the glutathione carnosine eon after the 2nd or 3rd month, depending on what you would like to do. And depending on what your conditions are, we can always advise you on that. And this is the information that we need to fill out our Dr. Wholesale form, personal information, payment method. Then we can enter it into the back office. You can use our link, get back to the person who referred you to this video, and they can share with you their retail link, but they can also set you up on this Dr. Wholesale form. All you have to do is ask and get back to them so that they can answer any questions that you might have. This is where you're going to go to read more and to see the clinical studies, to check out the patents, to watch a 2-minute, a 3-minute, and an 18-minute video, as well as some of the testimonials that we have of people who have been on the patches. Got a lot of friends on that reel. And if you would like the To Get Started text, which is basically the questions that we would have to ask you to fill this out, then just call our hotline, and then it's old school. It's not monitored, so I physically have to look at it to reply to you. So we can send you the text message with the to get started text so that we can fill out that Dr. Wholesale form. That's it. Visit DameLillianWalker.com if you want to watch this video or send it to a friend. It's on YouTube on Love and Money Secrets TV. I have lots of testimonials, have lots of research studies that I language into layman's terms, a lot of stories of body and mind transformation, and also some interviews with other doctors and scientists. And it's the platform that I use, that YouTube, as well as Facebook and Instagram, to bring you zero cost health education. Here's a little just eye candy, if you will. Again, just letting you see what it is that the mother activation patch does. And I want to thank you for tuning in, tapping in, and turning on to this broadcast. And I think that's it for now. All right, my beautiful friends and gems. You have a beautiful rest of your day. Please do put a comment in the YouTube comments below. If you're interested, put I'm interested. If you have questions, go ahead. I will be sure to look at those and respond back to you. And do share this, like it, subscribe, and do hit the notification bell. So as soon as I put up a new video, you'll be notified of the new videos that I am sharing with you guys. All right, that is it. We're going to call it a wrap. We're at the top of the hour. And Carol, I will be calling you in just a few moments. So by the way, just thought I'd let you know. All right. Ciao for now, my friends.